Hey guys, it's Maya. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. If you are new, let me introduce myself. Hi, I'm Maya. I do beauty videos, a little bit of lifestyle videos, and every now and then you'll get a story time thrown in. So as you can tell by the title, it's kind of a messed up story. This is about how my friend faked her own death. It's really messed up. Yeah, so let me give you guys some backstory before we even get into it, because you need to know the backstory. It's very important. All names have been changed to protect the guilty, except for me and Casey, because you guys obviously know me and you know Casey by now. For those who don't, Casey is my best friend. She's been in quite a few videos of mine in the past. If you want to find her, literally just look at almost any video I've posted previously. But yeah, so me and Casey used to be, back in middle school, high school, college, huge on writing. Like, huge. We were very into writing. And we were on a writing website with these other girls who we'll call Sally and Brooke. And like the four of us are really good friends, like really good. To the point that like, even though they lived in different states, mind you, me and Casey live up around Boston. Sally lives in the Carolinas, north, south, one of them. And Brooke lives up in Canada. I apologize in advance for whatever noise my cat's gonna be making over there. Brooke is not the friend that I will go to visit in Canada though. I would like to preface with that. Anytime I've gone to Canada in the past, it's not Brooke that I've stayed with. It's a different friend. But yeah, so it used to be like the four of us, this really close group of friends. But anytime that any two in the group of four get particularly close, Sally and Brooke would always try to like drive a wedge between them. Like, Sally would always, you know, call Casey and be like, hey Casey, like Maya told me this behind your back. Or which wasn't true, mind you. She'd find out things like from Casey and I would be like, oh yeah, I already know that. Like Maya told me that a while ago. Oh, you told her not to tell anyone? Oh, she already told me. Even though sometimes it'd be things I didn't even know yet. That kind of thing. It was ridiculous. Pip, can you not drink my wine? My cat's trying to drink my wine. My cat not only tried to drink my wine, but also just dropped and possibly broke my vlog camera. So she's in her crate for the rest of the video. Sally and Brooke were kind of childish, which is funny, because they're both several years older than me and Casey. Like, at the time of this story was in May 2015, so I was about to turn 23. So I'd say they were probably 27 and 28 at this point, maybe 26 and 27, the two of them. So I pretty much got sick of all the drama and kind of cut them off for like a few years. Like on our birthdays, we'd still message each other and be like, happy birthday, but that was pretty much it for communication with them for a while. And then on Twitter, it suggested that I follow Sally. So I'm like, oh, okay, like I'll follow Sally, sure. Like, haven't talked to her in a while, it'd be nice to see how she's doing. So I send her a follow request because her tweets are private. She messages me on Facebook. We still have each other added on Facebook. And she starts attacking me about, oh, why would you follow me? You don't know anything about my life. You don't care about my life. I brush it all off, being like, hey, I'm not trying to start drama. I just want to see how you were doing. And she just keeps starting more and more drama over it. And then the fun begins. So I'm going to read you guys a bunch of messages. I have them on my phone, so I'm going to be looking at that. I will also post the screenshots right over here for you guys so you can follow along. When reading it, I might summarize some of the things just because this is my fourth time filming this. Main players in this game: me, Casey, Sally, Brooke, and a mutual friend of me and Sally named David. David's a really sweet guy, really good friend, avoided all the drama, but he was still good friends with her, so he's kind of sucked into it a bit. So it was May 1st at 8:19 a.m. I was asleep at this point, mind you, but I woke up to this message on my phone. It said, it was from Sally on Facebook Messenger. It said, she's dead and it's because of you. You should have left her alone. You tell her that you two aren't friends and then you decide to care about her. Should have left her alone. She was doing well and adjusting to her medications, then you happened. Now, naturally, like any decent human being, when I saw that message, knowing that she's had issues with self-harm and suicidal tendencies in the past, I got really worried. I actually had work that day. I called work immediately when I woke up and I saw the message, crying. Told my boss, I'm like, you know, I can't come in. I just found out that my friend committed suicide last night. Like, oh my gosh, I can't come in. Bawling my eyes out. Immediately messaged Casey, told her what was going on, freaking out. I went to Sally's Twitter, and the tweet said, goodbye letter is written, doubt anyone will notice. Jesse, her boyfriend, will, but he deserves a chance at a real family. This is it for me. Goodbye. That was posted at 10:49 at night the night before. She had approved me to follow her on Twitter, by the way, if that wasn't obvious since I could see the tweet. So I got really worried. And then I stopped and I thought for a minute. Sally has done ridiculous things for attention in the past. Absolutely ridiculous. But I never thought this would have been for attention. Not once did I ever think that. But I'm like, you know what? She has said some crazy things. Like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on with her. So, the day before, when we got into the huge fight where she started all the drama, this was all the day after I tried to follow her on Twitter, by the way. This was all the next day. But during the drama that she started, she had brought up David. I hadn't talked to David in a few years, probably. And David messaged me and said, hey, please don't bring me up in whatever drama you're having with Sally. So I sent him a screenshot from the message of just Sally bringing him up and Sally attacking him. And he's like, oh, like Sally told me you said this, this, and this. Like, I'm sorry. I thought you were attacking me. I had no idea she brought me up. That's the type of person Sally was, which I could do a whole nother video about the type of friends to avoid, guys, because Sally was like the main person to avoid in life. But yeah, so me being a good person who's genuinely concerned for my friend, I messaged David and I said, do you know if Sally's okay? I got a disturbing message. And he said, what kind of message? She hasn't talked to me in a few days. And I sent the screenshot. And he said, that's creepy. I'll investigate. I'll keep it between us. And I told him, you know, I've been searching for answers all day. I haven't found anything. He was telling me that he was sure she was okay. You know, a lot of stuff about how he was sure she was okay. You guys can read the messages. And then when I was saying, you know, I'm upset that she would send me these kinds of messages. Is it wrong that I'm upset with her over this? He's like, no, like, you're not wrong for being upset. That's justified. And then he said, you know, she replied to me, in case you had any doubts, because he's like, oh, her messenger was active, like, she's fine. And he says, she replied to me in case you had any doubts. I was so mad, guys. I'd called out of work because I had thought that my friend had killed herself, because she has been suicidal in the past. Which, honestly, guys, if you are suicidal, like, I'm not trying to make light of suicide by posting this video, not at all. Suicide is a very serious topic. Very serious. And if you are suicidal, please reach out to somebody. Please. Like, I have an entire video that I'm working on about depression and suicidal ideation and things like that. So I could go on for hours about that. But honestly, if you have any suicidal thoughts, please reach out to somebody. Please. Like, I don't want you to think that I'm making light of it by posting this video. But no, so I'm very upset by that. Naturally, as anybody would be. And then a few days later, I'm at work, and I get a group message sent to me and Casey from Sally's account. And it says, hey everyone, just wanted to let all of y'all know that Sally is no longer with us. The stress and her illness finally got the best of her. Sent at 4:28 in the morning. Obviously we're asleep for that. It was the next one I was at work for, I'm sorry. So I just didn't answer that because I wasn't getting involved in this drama. I was staying out of it. I was like, you know what? If you want to pull this and fake this, you do you. I want nothing to do with you because that's low. Then at 12:30, that's when I was at work for it. Her account messaged again and said, okay, guess I shouldn't have mentioned this to you girls. You won't be at the funeral then, I suppose. This is her boyfriend Jesse, by the way. Casey responded to the message and said, it's a lot to process. And Sally's page responded and just said, yeah, okay. That's when things got over dramatic. So Brooke decides to get her little self involved. She sends a group message to me and Casey as well, which it's a very long message, very over the top and ridiculous, pretty much saying that me and Casey have never been good friends to Brooke or to Sally. And this is one of my personal favorites. So Brooke first decides to say that, you know, oh, she's a good person because she reached out when my dad died, and now I only am reaching out to Sally randomly because I care. You randomly reached out to Sally because you care, only to completely ignore what has happened now. What has happened now? Her killing herself? And then she proceeds to say that we can't call her or Sally our friends ever again because we're terrible people. I am not nor will ever be friends with someone who says nothing to to devastating news and is too self-absorbed to drop a line to someone they cared so much about in obvious hard time. How are we supposed to reach out to Sally if Sally has supposedly killed herself? That is the main point that I kept asking myself and to Casey. How? If somebody supposedly killed themselves, how are we supposed to reach out to them? So, you know, she just keeps attacking us. And we tried, actually, I got really fed up and I said, see, I knew that it was bullshit, that she hadn't actually killed herself. And then Brooke's response was, how about you take your assumptions on why I'm messaging you and take it elsewhere? I never once said that she did, so that's kind of out of nowhere. The entire message was about how she had supposedly killed herself. So I call out on it, like, well, what are you talking about then if this isn't about her killing herself, as we got messages saying that she had done? And she starts talking about how, oh, Sally's grandmother was sick and you didn't say anything to her about her grandmother. Like, that's terrible. Sally did tell me that her grandmother was sick when I tried to follow her on Twitter. And I told her, oh, that's terrible. I'm so sorry. She's always such a sweet person. You know, what you would normally say. I don't know what else you'd want me to do. So, at the same time, I'm messaging David. David is also getting messages from Sally that A, sound like she's off of her medication, and B, she's saying very suicidal things to David as well. We are both panicking because, I mean, you're saying suicidal sounding things, you're acting as if you killed yourself. This is clearly a cry for help. Like, this is clearly someone who actually is in that state of mind, or at least that's what it seemed like to us. As if she actually was in that state of mind and actually did want to end life. And I was worried. Any issues that I had with her, I didn't want her to die, which is a respectable thing if you ask me. I don't want people to die generally. Like, I mean, who says like, oh, I hate you, you were, you know, childish, I hope that you die? Like, no. You don't want to see someone actually take their own life. It's tragic. So I was talking to David about it, and he had told Sally, you know, I'm thinking about calling the police and having them do a wellness check on you. And she then proceeded to block him. So I told him, you know, she's saying all these suicidal things to you. She's telling me that she died. Like, I'm worried that she actually is going to do something. I want to do a wellness check on her. So I didn't even have her address, mind you. I got her address from David. So I called the police and explained the situation to them. You know, she was saying these things, pretending to have killed herself. We're concerned for her mental stability at this point. We're afraid this is just a cry for help and that she actually is going to do something. The police did a wellness check. That sent Brooke and Sally off the deep end. Brooke started messaging me about how I was completely vindictive and I was still in high school, because if I wasn't in high school, why would I have tried to call the cops and get her in trouble? And I'm just like, you know what? I cared about her. I was worried about her. I wasn't the only person worried about her. I wasn't going to throw David under the bus at that point. I'm sure that by now everyone knows that David was involved in this. But I was not going to throw David under the bus. So I'm like, I wasn't the only person worried about her. There were multiple people worried. Multiple people wanted to call the police. So I finally did it. And then Sally started messaging me. I would also like to preface that when I called for the wellness check, when the police officer called me back, he said, this is a direct quote, I still remember this. 2 years later, I still remember this. Yes. She said that she's fine, that she only posted those things online to get back at some friends who had made her mad. I don't understand how that isn't enough to get her brought in for a psych hold. Because clearly there's something wrong if you're posting things like that to get back at your friends that made you mad. I just don't understand. That's just not logical to me. But I guess that her parents were friends with cops, like a bunch of them, so I assume that's how she didn't get the psych hold. But then she got mad and she sent me a barrage of messages just attacking me as a person, that half the things that she said weren't even true because we hadn't talked in like 2 years leading up to this. At least 2 years. It could have been more than that. I don't want to read all those messages. I'll honestly put screenshots here. You guys can read them all. It was a crazy time. And ever since that happened, I have not spoken to her again. I still do follow her on Twitter since she approved me following her. I have not unfollowed her. I do like to see how she's doing, and I hope nothing but the best for her. I hope that everything comes together for her. I really do. But yeah, that is the time that one of my best friends faked her own suicide just to make people feel guilty. Please don't associate with people like this. Also, if you are feeling suicidal, if you have a friend who is demonstrating any warning signs that you think they could potentially be suicidal, please reach out to somebody. This is not a joke. I know I'm kind of making light of it in this video, but it's really not a light topic. This was just something that made me so mad because what kind of person uses that to try to make other people feel bad? Who uses "I committed suicide" as a guilt trip? That's someone that does need serious mental health help. And if you're ever experiencing thoughts like that, or you see a friend dealing with things like that, please reach out and get help. Because at the end of the day, no matter how terrible of a person you might be, or even just what you're going through and how you're lashing out at people, even if you're not a terrible person, I never want to see anybody kill themselves. That is tragic. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm not sure if I'm going to do more story times. I kind of want to. My life's kind of a hot mess. I have plenty of story times I can tell. I'm not sure. Let me know if you guys like it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. So if these screenshots seem a little odd, I was able to get some of the conversations of me and Sally while it was ongoing. But since then, I only recently went through and screenshotted them when I decided to make this video. Since then, so 2 years ago, David has since deleted his page, which is why it says invite him to Messenger, and Sally has blocked me, which is why hers also says invite to Messenger, because technically, they're no longer on there. But have fun reading these guys, they're a hot mess.
Repelling, oh, they so jealous. I'ma do shit to just piss them off. Say you never heard me, it's your loss. They biting on my freestyles. They tell me make my money frontin' on that weed style. I tell them I'm too old for it, and I gave my brother my ID. She independent, bet these bitches never find me. I hope they don't find him though, cause they be knocking on my door, now they looking through my window. Tell me what you really want from me. Point blank, no discussion. Close mouth, ow. I'll give it to you, no interruption. And tell me one time